Want to welcome you guys back to another episode of Pistons Talk Podcast, presented by FanDuel. I think this is the first live stream I've actually done in a month. As you guys know, there's been like a lot of chaotic stuff going on um, with my mom and then me, but I wanted to do a live stream. I haven't done a live stream in quite some time. We're going to get into this Pistons versus Philadelphia 76ers post-game show. Pistons played the Sixers first home game this week. They got another one tomorrow, actually, on 3-1-3 day against the Memphis Grizzlies. So pretty cool to get to play on March 13th, which is a Friday the 13th. So we'll be doing another post-game show for that. But let's get into this Philadelphia 76ers versus Detroit Pistons post-game show. Start the quarter notes like we usually do on these shows. So the Sixers were without, get this, Joel Embiid, surprise, surprise. Paul George still facing his suspension. Tyrese Maxey had a thumb injury. Andre Drummond, who was questionable, he had back spasms. Kelly Oubre Jr., and then Adam Bana, who was he's kind of like a second string center. So the Sixers didn't have a center to start this game, and like even before the game started, like I was looking at the FanDuel lines to see like how much the Pistons were favored. It was like 14 and a half. And then when the game started, it was 16 and a half. So they thought the Pistons were going to win this single-handedly. Start this game, Duncan Robinson just had a really great first quarter, scoring and playmaking. Really the playmaking that I've really liked out of Duncan Robinson over the past week or so. Just putting the ball on the floor, looking for Duran, looking for Cade, and I think that's one part of his game that I think isn't really appreciated. It's kind of underrated in an aspect where just him putting the ball on the floor and finding his teammates, but was doing a lot more scoring, three-point shots, all that great stuff. Pistons going on a 7-0 run, and they were up 17-6 at the 6:44 mark. Nick Nurse had to take a timeout. Obviously, didn't like what he saw out of his team early on. And then JB Bickerstaff, something he's been doing this week, especially since Asar Thompson has been out, is like playing with the second unit and integrating starters. At first he kind of just, dipped his toe in the water, had one starter out there. Throughout the game, he had two starters out there with the second unit. I think he's just kind of experimenting with different rotations, especially with not having Asar Thompson and Karis LeVert, two guys that play a bulk of minutes for this team. And I really love the ball movement in the first quarter. Pistons weren't stationary. There was a lot of player movement, ball movement. It was swinging side to side. Love to see it. Tobias and Cade had 8 points each in the first quarter, and the Pistons were able to win another first quarter. Love to see it. 36-27 after 12 minutes of action. Going into the second quarter, we saw Kevin Huerter make back-to-back three-pointers. He's been getting more minutes, obviously, with the injuries, and he's a guy that we traded for. And I was under the assumption that he's going to get more clock because we need more three-point shooting. We need more playmaking, which those are two things that he does pretty well, I would say. But it was good to see him make an impact off the bench for the Pistons. Pistons were able to open up their lead a little bit. Ron Holland was scoring, was just a plus. Anytime you can get like more than 10 points out of Ron Holland, I think it's a win in itself. Saw Paul Reed get some clock, which I was happy to see. You guys know I'm a very big Paul Reed stan. At times I'm just kind of frustrated that he doesn't get more playing time, but I understand like a third string center probably isn't going to get the most time, but I was happy to see Paul Reed get some clock. Philly did go on a 9-0 run, and they cut the lead to 7. Pistons were up as much as 17 points in the second quarter, but this Philly's defensive pressure really got to the Pistons, and they were just being disruptive. They were double teaming K. They were trying to get the ball out of his hands as much as possible. Pistons were able to surge very late in the second quarter and get their lead back up to 9. So it was 69-60 going into halftime. Coming out of halftime, Duran decided, I'm just going to be aggressive, scored the first 4 points, and then he was just very big in the third quarter. Pistons made stops, and they got their lead back up to 15 after it was only 9 coming out of halftime. And Cade's playmaking was on full display, and the connection with Duran, just the chemistry those two have. He was looking for him for lobs, just easy, just dump off passes for him. Javonte Green had a really positive game scoring wise, and the Pistons outscored Philly by 14 to have a 104-81 lead at the 3 quarters of play. Going into the fourth quarter, the Pistons just put the Sixers away. The bench unit closed the game, and then the garbage unit kind of made me nervous a little bit because the Pistons were up pretty big, and then Philly kind of went on like a little run where they scored 11 straight points. But maybe it's just kind of PTSD from the Nets game. I know the game was like so out of reach for Philly, but they got it within like 20-ish. But the Pistons were able to win this one 131-109, and they improved to 47-18. Next game will be against the newly looked Memphis Grizzlies. Be interested to see what Memphis looks like after trading Jaren Jackson Jr. And they're kind of in a rebuild right now, kind of building around John Morant. So it'll be interesting to see how the Pistons fare against the Memphis Grizzlies on the second night of a back-to-back. Want to get into the box score. If there's anyone that has any questions, we haven't done a Q&A segment in quite some time. If you guys do have any questions in the live chat, I'll be happy to answer them if you guys do. If you don't, we can just make this a short podcast. I apologize I haven't been able to do live streams over the past month. I am feeling a little bit better after last game. I was extremely sick. But let's get into the box score with this game. As you guys can see, I got the wrong stats up there. I had the team stats. So let's look at the box score. So Tobias Harris in 22 minutes had 15 points, 6 out of 11 from the field, 2 out of 3 from 3, 1 for 1 for the free throw line, had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, and 1 steal. He had a plus 18 in the plus minus tonight. Duncan Robinson in 25 minutes had 19 points, 7 out of 10 from the field, 5 out of 7 from 3, 2 rebounds and 4 assists, 1 turnover, and 1 steal. He was a plus 18 as well in the plus minus with Tobias Harris. Jalen Duren only played 15 minutes, but scored 14 points. He was 6 out of 7 from the field, 2 out of 3 from the free throw line, had 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. He was a plus 21 in the plus minus. Marcus Sasser in 23 minutes, scored 6 points, did not have his best shooting night, only shot 2 out of 9 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, 1 for 1 from the free throw line. Had 3 assists, though, 1 turnover. He was a plus 23 in the plus minus. Cade Cunningham in 28 minutes had 8 points. Didn't really look to score the ball too much. Shot 50% from the field. He was 3 out of 6 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Had 5 rebounds, 13 assists, 4 turnovers, 2 steals, 1 block. He was a plus 27 in the plus minus. Led his whole team in plus minus tonight. Going to the bench unit, Paul Reed in 12 minutes had 6 points. He was 3 out of 5 from the field, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks, minus 8 in the plus minus. Isaiah Stewart in 21 minutes had 13 points. He was perfect from the field, 5 out of 5, 3 for 3 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 blocks. He was a plus 9. Ron Holland in 25 minutes had 15 points. He was 4 out of 7 from the field, perfect from the free throw line, made all 7 of his free throws, did attempt 3 3-pointers, didn't make a single one. 3 rebounds, 4 turnovers, 1 steal. It was a minus 7 in the plus minus. Javonte Green in 19 minutes scored 17 points. He was 5 out of 8 from the field, 4 out of 6 from 3, 3 for 3 from the free throw line where he was perfect. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals by him. He was a plus 20. He led the entire bench unit in plus minus. Anytime you're able to get positive scoring out of Javonte Green, like 4 out of 6 from 3 is a really good night for him. Usually most nights he's like 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4, but you'll take it. You really will going into this week. Obviously, you have Memphis and then you have Toronto, who's actually struggling. So I think it's a really good opportunity for the Pistons to possibly, bounce back from going from 0-4 to possibly going 4-0. Would love to see that from them. Kevin Huerter, 26 minutes, probably the most minutes he's played as a Piston so far. Had 12 points. Did struggle to shoot from the field. 4 out of 13, 2 out of 7 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, plus 7 in the plus minus. I've just been really impressed with his playmaking. Obviously, you'd like to see him make a higher percentage of his shots, but not really worried about that. I think once he gets a little bit more comfortable with his teammates, I think the shots and just the possessions that he's getting, they'll be, better possessions. Chaz Lanier played in garbage time. He had 5 minutes, didn't score or grab a rebound or assist or anything like that. He was a minus 13 in the plus minus. And Danish Jenkins in 20 minutes scored 6 points. He was 3 out of 5 from the field. Didn't make a three, but he did attempt one. 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers, 1 block. He was a -5 in the plus minus. So that's kind of just the box score with the Pistons tonight. Obviously, playing the Philadelphia 76ers, a short-handed Philadelphia 76ers. I saw a lot of Pistons fans saying we're playing their G League team. It basically was. It wasn't really a player out there that really struck fear in you. Maybe outside of Campaign, and that's kind of saying something because Campaign is just a really good backup. He's been on a heater from three. I think coming into the game, he had made like 8 straight threes, but he was still getting to his spot, still scoring, but he didn't even start. I mean, like VJ Edgecombe is probably the other Philadelphia 76er player that has had good games throughout the season, but he's a rookie. So, I mean, wasn't really too many guys on Philly that you were really overly concerned with. Getting into the team stats, the Pistons shot a better percentage from the field. They shot 54 to Philly's 47. The Pistons did shoot back-to-back games where they shot well from three. So they shot 40% from three to Philly's 23. They were 14 out of 35 from three. Philly was 8 out of 35. Pistons shot a very good percentage from the free throw line. I have not seen a 90% team stat free throw percentage stat line by the Pistons in quite some time. They were 21 out of 22. Philly shot 71% from the free throw line. They were 17 out of 24. Pistons did out rebound them tonight 40 to 35. They were able to grab 10 offensive rebounds, 37 assists for the Pistons to Philly's 20. Back-to-back games where they're really sharing the ball. I still feel like that Brooklyn game was just a really big wake-up call for this team because they've been really moving the ball. There's been a lot of body movement, player movement. The ball isn't sticking. So back-to-back games of them just really sharing the ball, and you love to see that. This was a game where both teams were turning the ball over quite a bit. Pistons had 17 turnovers. The Sixers had 16. Pistons and the Sixers both had 10 steals. Sixers had 8 blocks. Pistons had 7 points conceded off turnovers. Philly had 20. Pistons had 21. Fast break points. Pistons did outscore them there 24 to 18. Points in the paint. Both of these teams were living in the paint. The Pistons were basically telling Philly, like, hey, if you want to score in the paint, go for it. They made sure Philly was not shooting a bunch of threes. They were trying to get them off of that three-point line. So Philly scored 64 points in the paint. The Pistons scored 66, beating them by 2 in that battle. And there was one technical foul by the Pistons, one flagrant foul on Philly. And just overall, this was a game that the Pistons needed the win, and I thought they did. I thought they did. They took care of business. Really excited that they got back into the win column. Again, you got 2 more games this week that I think are winnable. I think you can beat Memphis. They're obviously rebuilding. They're obviously looking to kind of restart. I think they do have some players that can score. They could give you a little bit of problems if you don't lock in and you don't kind of take them seriously, kind of take your foot off the gas. Felt like you saw that a little bit tonight with the Pistons against the Sixers. These are still NBA players at the end of the day. You have to guard them and take them seriously. And then you got Toronto. Toronto has just, bucket getters up and down their roster. But the last time we saw Toronto, Paul Reed went crazy. Kate Cunningham had a great night. So I think those are 2 winnable games for the Pistons. I know I said I think last week I saw only 2 wins this week, but after seeing them take care of business with Brooklyn and with Philly tonight, I think this is a team that understands that when you look at the Eastern Conference standings, Boston's right there. You want to try to keep as much as a pace at the first seed if you are to the Detroit Pistons to finish off this season. But don't really see any more, questions. Obviously, this is my first live stream in a month. I don't really expect you guys to, drop too many questions. I know how the YouTube algorithm is sometimes. If you don't do a live stream for long periods of time, it won't notify you guys that I am live. But that's okay. We'll be doing a live stream again tomorrow. But hope you guys are having a great night. Again, the Detroit Pistons win this game very easily. Final score, 131 to 109. But we will see you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys are having a great night. And as always, go Pistons. Peace.